Hello friends, I am Rakhi and you are watching the educational channel that is Biology Prospects. So friends, today we are going to gather some knowledge about the human physiology and the topic is circulatory system. This is the first part of the circulatory system and today we are going to learn something about the blood. Whereas the ICSE students, you have already get a few ideas about the composition of the blood in standard 8 also. So what are the different components and what is the function of the blood? Little bit idea you have already got in class 8. So in the class 10 of the circulatory system, we have learned little bit elaborately in this particular topic. So let's start the chapter now. So today's our topic, that is the composition, physical characteristics and the function of blood. So before we start this topic, we are getting a little bit knowledge about our different circulatory fluids and its function. Friends, as a human body, we all know that is all the living organisms, not only the human body, we need a regular supply of the oxygen and the nutrients to stay the life. And obviously whatever the waste materials like carbon dioxide, ammonia and the urea, whatever is produced inside the cell during the different type of the catabolism or the metabolism process, this one also want to remove from the body because these are the poisonous. So obviously these are the two main function. What is first one, that is the supply of the oxygen and the nutrients in the different parts of our body, and secondly that is the just reduce or so called, that is just relieve our cells from the different toxin materials. The three kinds of the fluids are play a vital role of the human body. Okay, these are the three kind of the fluids that is known as the circulatory fluids, and their special function, whatever the function is, mainly two function, that is carry the respiratory gases, hormones, enzymes, and obviously it is remove the waste materials from our body cells. So first, that is the three type of the fluids. The first fluid, that is obviously blood, and you have seen on the slides which I represent on the screen, the blood that is a flow through the three types of the stream, blood streams over here. Three types, not actually, it is two types of the blood stream. First one reddish, that is the artery, and second one bluish, that is the vein. And the arteries and vein conjugatedly together form the capillaries. These are the things you have already familiar. The names are not uncommon from you. Then also I'm telling the bloods is the first circulatory fluid. Second circulatory fluid, that is the tissue fluid. Whatever the example I show on the screen, the tissue fluid, this is the example of the synapse, or so called, that is the two neurons are joining part, wherever the two different neuron cells before joining, there's a one type of the fluids are spreading over here. Not only the neuron, this is only the example I have shown over there. There are the several type of the tissues, a combination of the cells together and join and form the different type of the organ, and all the organs are joined together and form the tissue. So wherever the different types of the tissues are joined together, some tissue fluids are play a vital role before their joining of this particular part. So they are known as tissue fluid, mainly found in the cellular space. Obviously the combination of the cells that is form the tissue. So inside the cellular space, that is the fluid are present, that is known as the tissue fluid. And the last one, that is the lymph. And speciality about the lymph is that lymph always found in that particular place where the place blood can't be reached, or so called, that is the blood is unable to reach the cellular or the body part of the human cells. This is the particular part the lymph can reach, and they can do performing the same tasks whatever the blood perform. So called, that is found in the lymph vessels and the lymphatic organs. The biggest and the largest lymphatic organ of the human body, that is spleen, and it is present on the above part of our stomach. These are the example I have shown on the above of the lymph. This is the biggest lymphatic organ, or so called, that is a lymphatic gland also. So these are the three type of the circulatory fluids are play the vital role of the total circulatory system of the human body. Is it? So our human body, or so called, that our body has a three different type of the fluids. One fluid, that is the blood, that is carry actually arteries, veins and the capillaries. Second, that is the tissue fluids are found in the cellular space, and third, that is the lymph, found in the lymph vessels and the lymphatic organs like a spleen and the tonsil. So friends, next topic which we are going to learn, that is what is the function, or what is the why the circulatory fluids or the circulatory system actually need for the human body. What is the main functions over there? The main function, that is the transport of the oxygen. Friends, we have already know that the oxygen is the one of our most important gas which is used for the burning or for the catabolic reaction inside the cell. That means I just want to focus on the respiration process. During the respiration process, without oxygen, our aerobic respiration doesn't take place. So our blood carry the oxygen in the different part of the cells. Okay, so first function of the circulatory system, that is the transport of the oxygen. Second, that is transport of the carbon dioxide. After complete the catabolism reactions, whatever the extra carbon, whatever the waste gas produced inside the different type of the cells or the tissue part, that is carbon dioxide, and that gas also carried out from that place or just removed from that particular place, that is only possible because of the circulatory system. Third one, that is the transport of the waste product and the metabolisms. Obviously, not only the carbon dioxide is the waste product, there is another waste products, and that is a very toxin waste products, that is the ammonia or the nitrogenous waste, that is urea and the uric acids. So called different type of the unwanted product or waste product which is produced during the metabolism time, as well as the different type of the catabolic or the metabolic or the anabolic process, it is produced inside the cell. These are also removed from our body. That is the process of the circulatory system, or the circulatory fluid play a vital role over there. Then last three are the very common, that is the transport of the hormones. Different type of the hormones play a different type of the roles of our living process. Regulation of the body temperature, our inside body temperature and the outside temperature should be maintaining equal balance or equilibrium to the through the circulatory process. And obviously the protection against the infection for the microorganisms. Different type of the microorganisms you have already familiar. There's a different, that's the virus, bacteria, or the different type protozoas or the helminthes, whatever present surrounding us through the air or through the water or food, whatever it is, the different medium, it is entering our body. And obviously our circulatory system play a vital role to protect our body, or just a protest or the pathogens, and just keep safe and sound of our body through these are the all pathogens. So these are the six are the very important function of the circulatory system, that is the transport of oxygen, transport of carbon dioxide, transport of the waste product and the metabolism, transport of the hormones, regulation of the body temperature, and obviously the protection against the infection of the microorganisms. So these are the functions possible because of the circulatory fluids are present in a human body. And through the circulatory fluids, different parts of our body, from the upper part to the lower part, I just want to focus from the head to the toe, all the different parts of the different cells, different tissues are keep healthy and safe. And obviously these are the things are possible because of the flow of the circulatory fluids, that is blood, tissue fluids and the lymph. So our next part of this particular topic we are learn, that is the blood and the composition and function. So among these are the three different circulatory fluids. Today's topic, that is the blood. So first we are try to learn what is blood and what is its composition. An average human being has about 5.5 liters of the blood in its body. That is a normal adult human being's whole body that is consists of 5.5 liters of blood. And among these are the 5.5 liters blood, the 50 to 60% of the blood is called plasma. So called, this is the without cell, the fluid part of the blood. Maximum this 90 to 90%, that is the water composition is there, that is plasma part. And the second part of the blood, that is corpuscles or the cellular part of the blood. So called, what is the definition of the blood? Blood is the composition of the plasma and the corpuscles. That means the blood always moves from the heart through the arteries and back to the heart through the veins. This is the pathway, or this is the cyclic way the blood circulates throughout the body of human beings. But actually the bloods are composed with the two main materials or two main compounds, that is the plasma and the corpuscles. Plasma, that is the watery part. Obviously it is also contains some of the proteins, some of the hormones, enzymes also be there, but it is not the cellular part, it is the liquid part or the watery part. And second one, that is the corpuscles part, that is the cellular part of the blood. So different type of the cells are composite on that particular part. So today is our topic, the blood composition. We are discuss about the different types of the parts of the blood, their functions, their lifespan and their shape and structures. So now we just start from the first point, that is the blood plasma. So let's start about the blood plasma. So okay, what is blood plasma and how it is looks? The first question comes in our mind, that is the blood plasma. It is the pale yellowish alkaline fluids. Friends, the blood plasma, that is the pH level is 7.5. Okay, that is a 7.5 pH level, and it is the alkaline fluids made up of the 55 to 60% of total blood volume. And these are the blood plasma, mainly the water containing part of the blood, and this contain 90 to 92% of water. Obviously these are the rest of the 90 and 92% of the water, rest of the 8% part, that is including of the different type of the proteins, inorganic salts, dissolved nutrients, hormones, dissolved gases, and obviously the excretory substances are there also. Okay, so whatever the parts of the plasma, that is 90 to 92% part of the plasma, it is containing the watery part. Rest of the part, that is serum protein. So what is serum protein? Actually serum, this is the composition of the plasma part, which the protein fibrinogen has been removed from there. So what is fibrinogen and what is the function of fibrinogen? I just explain after explaining these are the part. Okay, so first you just try to understand the serum protein, that is 6 to 8%. The different type of the serum proteins are fibrinogen, prothrombins, albumin and the globulins. These are the four fibrinogen proteins, these are the four serum proteins are present in blood plasma, that is a 6 to 8% of the total blood plasma part. Second, that is the inorganic salts. Obviously the inorganic salt, that is the sodium, phosphate, calcium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate, these are present. Approximately 1 to 2% are present in the blood plasma. Is it? Now the second, that is the dissolved nutrients. What kind of the nutrients are there? Obviously we already familiar about the 6 components of the foods, and these are the 6 components, are the protein, carbohydrate, fats, vitamins, minerals, lipids and all this. So out of these are the components, few parts, as the glucose, the simplest part of the carbohydrate, lipids and the fatty acids, the simplest part of the fat, cholesterol, it is also one kind of the fat, and amino acids, the part of the protein, these are also present in the plasma. Several hormones from the endocrine glands, whatever the secretion take place, it is directly mixed up with the blood and comes to the throughout the body. That is only possible because of the blood plasma carry the different kinds of the hormones. Okay, and the dissolved gases, that is the two main gases are the just convey the different parts of the cell, that is oxygen, carbon dioxide and the nitrogen gas, and the excretory objects, that is the urea and uric acid. These are the substance are normally present in the blood plasma. Okay, blood plasma carry all these are the substance from the one part to the another part of the body. And now we are just telling about protein, fibrinogen, then you can clarify the idea about the serum and the plasma, because one of the common question arises from our mind, that is what is the basic difference between the blood plasma and the blood serum. Okay children, then I will just complete that one. The blood plasma, that is actually the composition of the it is the alkaline fluids first of all, and is the composition of the water with fibrinogen protein. And serum, that is the without fibrinogen protein, the rest of the part of the blood plasma, that is serum. So basic difference is that I given one example, and the idea should be clear very much. Suppose your body any part should be cut and your blood secretion take place, or blood comes out for a particular that place. After few minutes or the few seconds, the blood start clotting over there. But then also after the clotting, the one of the watery part or secretion take place, and these are the part is not reddish. So these are the part that is the serum part. Actually the fibrinogen is the one of the protein which help for the blood clotting. For the next class or the next part we will learn the process of the blood clotting. That time I will explain elaborately. You just keep the mind that is the fibrinogen is the one of a protein which help for the blood's clot, and this is present in the blood plasma. So blood plasma, it is the alkaline fluid which is the pale yellow color and containing the fibrinogen protein, prothrombin protein, and different inorganic dissolved nutrients, hormones, and all these are the gaseous excretory materials, that is blood plasma. And without fibrinogen protein, whatever the rest of the part of the blood plasma, that is known as serum. Okay, so a serum, that is alkaline level is lower than the blood plasma. Blood plasma's alkaline level is little bit high. So next point of this particular topic, that is the corpuscles. That means in the blood there are the two parts we have already familiar, that is one is blood plasma and another part that is the cellular part of the cell. This is called the blood corpuscles. So what there are the three types of the blood corpuscles. Normally we have seen three types of the blood corpuscles. Common names RBC, WBC and the platelets. These are the common names we have already familiar, but in the class 10th level you just learn the scientific name also. RBC or the red blood corpuscles, this is known as erythrocytes. WBC, white blood corpuscles, that is actually known as the leukocytes, and the blood platelets, that is actually known as the thrombocytes. So these are the three cells are composed or just made up the total blood structures of the cellular part of the blood. So erythrocytes or leukocytes and the thrombocytes, these are the three blood cells, and obviously these are the three blood cells play a very vital role in the blood, which helps to continue the different living process as well as our circulatory system also stand on. These are the base of this three type of the cells, is it? So now we are just going to talk about the RBC or erythrocytes. What is RBC? Friends, I just given a short explanation about the RBC. The slides also it is explained. I just telling the RBC is the smallest cell of the human body. Clear? The RBC is the smallest cell in human body, and it is the cell which does not contain any nucleus. Okay, so there have some reason also. It does not contain the nucleus. You have already seen the exact structure of the RBC. It is reddish in color. We can say completely it is a red color, and the biconcave shape. Okay, it is biconcave and the enucleated. So that is in the middle part, it is little bit taper, and the outside is the swallowing parts. You have seen the two structures. This is display on the screen slides. Okay, so it is produced in the bone marrow of the long bone. The RBC production take place inside the bone marrow of the human mix. What are the human mix? All the mammals, those who containing the red blood corpuscles inside their blood. So maximum the blood's RBC composition take place inside the bone marrow. Okay, and which type of the bone marrow? Especially the long bones, ribs, vertebra and the skull bone. The maximum lifespan or maximum time of the lifespan by the RBC, that is the 120 days. As a female, the number of the RBC present in the 100 ml blood, that is 4 to 4.5 millions. Okay, 100 ml per 100 ml bloods, the number of the RBC, that is 4 to 4.4 to 5 million RBC are present. Comparatively, the male containing more RBC in their bloods, and that is 5 to 5.5 millions per 100 ml bloods. Okay. Now, what is the reason for the color of the RBC is red? The main reason, that is, it is contain the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, that is a composite, it's known as the conjugated protein. It is combined with the heme and the globin, two type of the proteinous parts. So, but there actually heme, that is indicate the iron, and the globin, it's the name of a one protein. We have already learned the previous slides, the globin protein presence in the plasma also. So, hemoglobin, that is the main function is carry the oxygen in the different parts of the body. For the blood, to carry the oxygen in the different parts of the human body, that is actually performed by the hemoglobin. And hemoglobin, the conjugated protein, which is the two elements of presence mainly over there, that is one of the heme, that is indicate for the iron, and the globin, that is one of the protein name. So hemoglobin is the respiratory pigment which composed with the iron and contain the part of the heme and the proteinous part, that is globin. Clear? Now, RBC forms the oxyhemoglobin form. Friends, I'm just telling you this RBC, the main function is it is carry the oxygen in the different parts of the body of the human cells, and the oxygen is the basic gas or the prime gas which are functioning the metabolic activities, or so-called, that is the catabolic activities, respiration, the breakdown of the foods, and release the oxygen, release the energy in form of ATP, whatever it is. That is the actually possible because the RBC carry the oxygen in the cellular part of the human body or the mammals. Or is it so? There is a two part of the RBC hemoglobin. One part, that is the hemoglobin for the oxygen transport by RBC, and secondly, that is RBC. It is also carry out the carboxyhemoglobin on that place also. Carboxyhemoglobin, actually after the respiration the carbon dioxide formation take place, that is the waste material, and whenever the waste materials are also want to remove from the cell, the hemoglobin carry the carbon dioxide in a form of carboxyhemoglobin form. Is it clear? So the basic function of the RBC, so called, that is carry the respiratory gases. Now one question always arises in our mind, why the RBC doesn't contain the nucleus? The basic reason is that give a maximum surface area for the hemoglobin. Give the maximum surface area of the hemoglobin. RBC slowly remove or slowly disappear the nucleus inside the cell. Not only the nucleus, the RBC doesn't contain the mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex. All these other things are also not present inside the RBC. So to make a space for the maximum amount of the hemoglobin for oxygen transport, RBC have lost their nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and the Golgi complex. So the breakdown of the old and the worn out RBC, it is actually known as the hemolysis, and these are the hemolysis also take place in our spleen, liver, and the bone marrow. What is the hemolysis? This is the one type of the phenomena which is take place inside our blood in every moment. I have already focused that the lifespan of the RBC is 120 days, and after the 120 days the old and the worn out the RBCs, that is rupture or just you can damage, and this is the process is known as the hemolysis. After hemolysis the new RBC formation take place in the same place of the bone marrow. Okay, so this is the part of the RBC, and so called, that is RBC is the basic component of the blood which carry the respiratory pigment from it is actually indicate the respiratory pigment or which carry the respiratory gases from our different parts of our body. Is it clear? For the next part of the RBC, then this is, and for the next part of the RBC, this is the leukocytes or the WBC. Friends, WBC is the main blood parts or the blood component, blood cellular component which are build up the immunity system inside the human blood. Okay, so mainly the immunity systems are completely depend on this is the particular cellular part of the bloods. RBC are the colorless, nucleate, round or the irregular amoeboid cells. The RBC, there's a new word you have find out, the amoeboid cells. What is amoeboid cells? When I entered the explanation of the different cells of the RBC, I have just explaining that one. Before that, you just get the outer structure. Take a little glance about the RBCs, WBCs different characteristics. WBCs are the colorless nucleate, that means it's contain the nucleus. Round or somewhere it is the irregular. Amoeboid means we have already know amoeba is a unicellular organism so which doesn't contain a particular shape, and during the prey comes before the amoeba, it is already spread its nucleus, and one type of the pseudopodia create their body, and this pseudopodia grab the pathogen or grab the prey. That is type of the movement we have seen in our RBC cell also. That is the reason it is also called the amoeboid cell. Is it clear? Now, it is called the mobile force of the body defense mechanism because RBC, there is no particular definition. It is not a one particular cell. RBC is the composition of the 5 different cells. so called, there's a what is what is WBC. Actually RBC, that is the respiratory cell, particular one cell, but the WBC, it is the actually the combination of the 5 different cells. Among the 5 different cells, the first 3 cells, that is the granulocytes, and the next 2 cells, that is the granulocytes, or so called, that is the non-granulocytes. So lifespan normally all over, these are the 5 WBC cells. Normally the lifespans of the WBC, it is incalculate, that is the 12 hours to 12 days. WBC can squeeze out the capillary into the surroundings tissue. It's called the diapedesis. This is the one of the character of the WBC. Capillary squeezing and just dissolve the pathogens outside of the capillaries, which help them to free the blood from the outside pathogen and improve our body immunity system. So that is the diapedesis form. WBC's few cells are just squeeze the out capillaries surroundings of the tissues. Secondly, the 5th point, that is on reaching the site of infection, WBC engulf the microbes or the pathogen, and this is called the phagocytosis. Friends, this phagocytosis process only can take place due to the amoeboid movement of the WBC. So on reaching of the sites of infection means after that, whenever the pathogens or outsider unwanted materials enters in our body through the respiratory, through the air, water, or whatever the different other nasal part or the mouth part, it is directly goes and enter and mix up with our bloods, and our bloods are immediately start to fighting. The bloods fighting means our blood cells are ready to fight up this pathogens from outsides. Whenever they are conquered, our body can be refused that particular disease. Is it no? So this is called this is the immunity system, and that is the basically stand on the function of the WBC. So here it is on reaching the site of infection means a particular infective pathogen when enter in the body of the human beings. The RBC start to engulf and start to produce the pseudopodia near the phagocytes, near the prey, and obviously it's grabs, these are the microbes, or just engulfed, these are the microbes of the pathogens, whatever, and this is the process actually known as the phagocytosis process. It's clear? Now WBC show the amoeboid movement during the diapedesis also. Phagocytosis and the diapedesis both are the cases. The amoeboid movement of the WBC is a very properly can be visible over there. Okay, these are the generals, these are the 6 characters for the general characters of the 5 different type of the WBCs. Now we are going to know about the different 5 WBC cells, and individually we are trying to understand what is their lifespan, what is the shape, and basically on the basis of the structure of nucleus we just differentiate the 5 cells of the WBC. Friends, you keep in your mind, sometimes this question comes, then what is the basic reason for the WBC's differentiations of the cells? The basic reason is first reason is cytoplasm, second reason is nucleus. For cytoplasm means the WBC's 5 type of the different cells, wherever the cells are containing the few granulocytes part. Okay, that means few the granules are present on the cytoplasmic part, that is called the granulocytes. Okay, and these are the 3 type of the granulocytes we have seen. 3 types of the granulocytes we have seen in WBC. These are neutrophil, basophil, and the eosinophil. So and another part, that is the granulocyte. This is the cytoplasm doesn't contain any granules. That is for the granulocytes parts. Monocytes and the lymphocytes are the example of the granulocytes. Second point, the basic of the structure of nucleus we can easily rectify or identify that are the different type of the WBC cells. So when I explain one by one, you can understand whatever the nucleus or whatever the visible nucleus or diagonaceous, these are the differences. The first part, that is the granulocytes, it is the neutrophils. So what is neutrophils? Friends, neutrophils actually the stain for the acidic and the basic. Acidic, that is eosinophil, eosine, and basic color, that is the methylene blue. These are the 2 type of the colors we use to rectify the cells in our blood. So acidic color eosine and the basic color methylene blue we use. And you have seen the diagrams. Few parts are, these are the blue color, few parts these are reddish color, pinkish color. Actually these are the different parts of the cell or WBC cell. They are absorbing the different type of the stained. Clear? So neutrophil is such a cell. You have seen over there blue and the reddish, both part is there. So called that is the neutrophil is such a cell which is a stain both of the acidic and the basic. Clear, friends? Now the total account of the WBC, 50 to 70% of the WBC, the neutrophils are present. So called that is the neutrophils can occupy the maximum space of WBC, that is 50 to 70% in our blood. The WBC part, the neutrophils are there. Neutrophils nucleus, there are the 3 to 6 lobes are there. That means they're the cleavage are created. These are the nucleus you have seen on the screen. These are the neutrophil. The 3 lobes of the nucleus. These are blue color nucleus part. Sometime it is 4, 5 or 6 also be seen over there. The nucleus are create the cleavage and these are the formation take place. Okay, so it is depend on the size of the neutrophil. The neutrophil is highly phagocytic in nature. That is the reason the nucleus are making the cleavage. Phagocytic nature means they are showing the amoeboid movements when the entering of the pathogens take place in our body. So it is highly phagocytic in the nature, and the lifespan of the neutrophil, that is the 6 hours to the few days. Okay, depends according to the function or according to the need of our body. So neutrophils, there is neutro. So acidic and the basic both are stained over here. 50 to 70% WBC in our blood, that is contained in neutrophil, and its neutrophil that is lifespan is 6 hours to the few days. And obviously, how would we recognize the diagnose the picture of the neutrophil? The neutrophil's nucleus have contained minimum 3 and maximum 6 lobes. Clear, friends? Next, just come on the second granulocyte part of the WBC, that is basophil. Friends, you have seen the picture. It is the bluish in color. Is it? No, actually that is just absorb the methylene blue. That is the basic stain. So we call they are the stain with the basic only. Okay, it is not the acidic part. And basophil containing the 2 important protein, that is histamine and the heparin. The 2 proteins, histamine protein and the heparin protein. Histamine protein, that is the proteinous part of our blood which create the inflammation, which create the different type of the allergic movement in our body. And second, that is the heparin. Actually the heparin is prevent the blood clotting inside our blood vessels. So that is the reason different produce the allergy of the pathogens, that is for the histamine protein's function, and containing the heparin, that is prevent the blood clotting inside the blood vessels. So one more thing is there, the amount, or that's the number of the basophil is not too much. It is the 0.5 to 1% total presence in our WBC. So we call that is basophils are 0.5 to 1% of the total blood. It is present over there. Nucleus is elongated and the S-shaped structure, maximum 2 to 3 lobes. 2 lobes is obviously we can see over there. Pictures also show that one. Maximum it is 3 lobes, not more than that. The shape is also very small comparatively neutrophil, and they are stained only the basic. That is basic stain. One of the example is methylene blue. Basophils squeeze out the blood capillaries, engulf the pathogens, that is known as the diapedicious. These are the things are commonly we have already explained in the characteristics of the WBC. Actually the basophil and the neutrophil both are performing, these are the function, diapedicious function. This is the diapedicious and the phagocytosic in nature. These are the 2 characteristics, basic characteristics of the WBC, which helps immediately engulf the pathogens which is disturb our immunity system. So now so-called that is the one thing I have already explained, that is the basophil containing the 2 high protein or 2 are very essential protein. One is one is histamine protein and there is a heparin protein. Histamine protein, that is when the pathogens are diapediced, that is the time it is showing the allergic movement or show in the body. That is we have just feel the different type of the allergic symptoms, that is actually the reaction of the basophil inside our blood. And the heparin, that is actually the one protein which present in our blood vessels to just stop the blood clotting. Okay, what is the reason of the blood clotting? For the next part or the part 2, I just explained that one. The lifespan of the basophil, that is few hours to few days. Is it clear? That is the next part of our granulocytes, is the eosinophil. Friends, the eosinophil is the completely acidic. It is here, or you have seen the blue color nucleus stained over there, but actually this is the not the blue, as a purple color is there, and these are the blue color and the green, blue and the pinkish color is there. Normally we just indicate this pinkish color. Sometimes we have not seen the blue color also nucleus. It is completely acidic containing dyes, that is eosine. It is name also considers the eosine stain. It is a stain over there. Okay, then 2 to 3% of the total amount of the WBC it is present. Nucleus is 2 lobes, not more than 2, and this produce antitoxin to the dioxify the poison. Okay, dioxify the poison. That is secreted by the pathogens and also activate the chemical to fight the allergy. Friends, we have already learned that is the histamine protein. It is just show the allergic when the pathogens are entering our body due to the presence of the due to the function of the basophil. At the same time, when the detoxification, because when the pathogen enter in our blood, immediately the pathogens start to produce the toxin, and that particular toxin mix up with our blood, and it is the react with the histamine, so the allergy produce or allergy comes out. So eosinophil is the one of our WBC which help us to neutralize these other toxin or try to detoxify these other poison which secreted by the pathogen. Okay, and it is the activate to just solve or dissolve the allergic movement of the movement of our blood. So that is the granulocytes part of the WBC, and the lifespan of the eosinophil, that is 8 to 12 days. Now we are just proceed for the next part, that is the granulocytes or the non-granulocytes. Friends, I already told the basic 2 reasons we just differentiate the WBC. The first reason, that is the nature of the cytoplasm. If the cytoplasm contain granules, we put this other cell in a granulocytes. Granulocyte, that is eosinophil, basophil and neutrophil. And wherever the cytoplasm doesn't contain any granules, that is composed into the granulocytes, or so called, that is the non-granulocytes. So the non-granulocytes WBC, that is the 2 parts are there. One is the lymphocytes and this are monocytes. So you have seen these are the very smooth cytoplasm, and secondly that is for the structure of the nucleus. Friends, lymphocytes and monocytes, the nucleus structure is so big. Is it no? The nucleus structure is so big and they are very properly visible. So called, that is the total account of the WBC. The 25% that is the lymphocytes and the 3 to 8% that is the monocytes. So nucleus is a large and the spherical in the lymphocytes, and it's produce the antibodies and play a crucial role in the immunity. It is produced, what is the antibody? Actually the antibody is the part of our blood when any pathogens are entered in our body. Directly these are the pathogens should be dissolved or just react with our bloods through the antigen, and it is that create or demolish there the particular parts, that is are the produce antibody. After the demolition they are the poisonous part, detoxified parts, the WBC grab these are the pathogens, that is called the antibiotic or antibody. Okay, so produce the antibodies and play a crucial role for the immunity. And the lifespan, that is a few hours to the few years. Monocytes, that is largest WBC. Okay, and the nucleus also be very properly visible, very very clearly you can observe over there. And it's account of the total WBC, 3 to 8% of the WBC that is contain the monocytes, phagocytosis in nature, and very few months it survive. So the last point, or this is the last thing, that is the type of the platelets or the blood platelets, that is thrombocytes. So 3 things we have learned in the corpuscles blood, that is the RBC, erythrocytes, leukocytes, WBC, and the platelets or the thrombocytes. So what is platelets? Platelets actually the colorless oval round disc like structure. is a cell which doesn't contain the nucleus. It is also doesn't contain the nucleus. The 2 to 3 lakhs of the per ml of the blood is contained. The main function of the platelets, that is for the blood clotting. So called that is a fibrinogen protein, prothrombin protein, also called that the blood platelets are maximum present in the blood plasma part. Clear? And so with the blood cells also it is present and helps for the blood clotting. When the bloods are comes out of the body, these are the platelets are break down and start to produce the fibrinogen. That is the reason the blood start clotting. So these are the colorless oval round disc-like structure. They are 2 to 3 lakhs per ml of the blood. It is enucleated. Does not contain any nucleus and helps for the blood clotting, and the total lifespan, so called, that is 5 to 10 days. This is the structure of the blood platelets. Friends, for your extra information, the number of the WBC increase decrease and the number of the RBC increase decrease whenever our human bodies are immensely you can say that is affected. Okay, these are the 4 phenomena take place. If suppose the increase of the number of RBC, whatever the total number of the RBC is required in our body, whenever that is for the female 4.4 to 5 the per 100 ml, and for the male that is 5.5 minimum, 5 to 5.5 ml number millions for the per 100 ml. If the number is increased, that is one type of the disease occurred, that is known as the polycythemia. Okay, that is known as the polycythemia. And the increase of the number of the WBC, wherever the cost of the RBC, when the number of the 5 cells, any cells number is increased, that is known as the blood cancer, or so called that is the tumor cells that start produce, that is leukemia or the blood cancer. Clear? The decrease number of RBC, whenever suddenly the number of the RBC is start to decrease, obviously the anemia symptoms comes when the RBC decrease. It's called the erythrocytopenia. Is it okay? Erythrocytopenia. And the decrease of the WBC is known as the leukopenia. Now friends, we are going to learn what are the function of the blood. So friends, the main function of the bloods, they are the whole composition of the bloods. We just conjugated together, we find out the result, that is the blood, that is help us to transport the nutrients part, that is carbohydrate, protein, fats, minerals, vitamins, and the roughage waters. Obviously it is transport from the one part to the another part, or the one cell to the another cell. That is for the transport the nutrients. Transport of the respiratory gases, friends, it is very important than oxygen and the carbon dioxide. Respiratory gas, that is oxygen, and after the respiration the toxinic gas, that is carbon dioxide. Oxygen that is conveyed in the different cells through the fluid of the bloods. Transport of the waste product, obviously the waste product produced inside the cell, it is removed from there, so that is the waste products that comes out for the blood. Transport of the transport of the body secretion. Body secretion is included the hormones as well as the enzymes also, and different type of the secretion, that is the body different type of the secretion of the hormones or enzymes that take place from one part to another part. It is also possible because of the blood. Regulation the body temperature. Our bloods, the buffer position, buffer solution means it is maintain the pH level of the blood, and different type the chemical phenomena take place during the respiration time, so it is maintain the body temperature also. And obviously WBC and the lymph play a very vital role also for the defense against the infection. Just stop the spread the pathogen and detoxify the poisonous effect of the pathogen, so that is the defense against the infection. This is also so friends, these are all together 6 are the points are very important, or 6 points are the mainly function of the bloods. So if that's all the part 1, the composition of the bloods and the function of the bloods. So next class we will discuss about the different type of the parts of the blood vessels, as well as the function of the hearts and the structure of the hearts also. So friends, I hope you understand the composition of the bloods very properly, and if you like this video, please you just like and share my videos, and if you are want to continue the seen my updation, latest updation, please you press the bell icon for the subscription of this particular YouTube channel. And thank you for watching patiently of this other particular channel. Thank you friends. We are meet for the next session. Goodbye.